Hello, I am Kirti Tiwari, Professor of English. Here is the third part of my lecture on semantics. As I have told you, in this I will be dealing with collocation and set and also would discuss some questions related to semantics from examination point of view. In the first two parts, I have already discussed Introduction to Semantics, its history, conceptions and types of meaning, sememe and various sense relationships. So let us start with collocation. As it is customary to start with a definition, we begin with the definition given by Webster's Comprehensive Dictionary of the English Language. Actually, it's a word derived from the word collocate, and the word collocate in this dictionary means to put in certain order or arrange together. And if we trace the origin of the word, it comes from the classical language Latin collocatus, which again means come together. Oxford's Advanced Reader's Dictionary, one of the most reputed dictionaries, also defines collocation as a combination of words in a language that happens very often and more frequently than would happen by chance. So, very often you will find two words going together, right? And they come together so often that it is not just by chance. So, when two words accompany each other frequently and it becomes a practice, then that is collocation. This dictionary has some study pages devoted to collocation. It explains this concept in its study page. It says that collocation is the way in which particular words tend to occur or belong together. And giving an example will make it clear. The example given is meals will be served outside on the terrace, weather permitting. Means if the weather is fine, meals will be served on the terrace. But you can't replace permitting with other word, like you can't say meals will be served outside on the terrace, weather allowing. This is because permit collocates with weather and not the word allow. And it is important to have a knowledge of collocation because that improves our vocabulary. And very correctly, British linguist Forth says, you shall know a word by the company it keeps. This is interesting because it says if you want to know a man, know his company. So if you want to understand a word properly, you should understand the words they come with. So actually here Forth is pointing out the syntagmatic. Syntagmatic means the horizontal tendency of lexemes to go together. Say for instance blonde. Blonde means reddish. Blonde collocates with hair, blonde hair. Neigh is associated or goes with horse. Horse is neigh. You don't call any other animal sound as neigh. Then there is a whole list of collocation given, and some common examples are ink. We know what is ink, and it collocates with pen, because ink pen we have. Then paper, we write with ink on the paper. Letter. Letters are written in ink. Blue. Blue is the color of ink. Green, red, and so on. So all these can be used with ink. Similarly, red collocates with roses, blood, ink, apple, tomato. So they are all red. We know roses are red, blood color is also red. You have red ink, then apple, ripe apple is red, and tomatoes, ripe tomatoes are red. So red collocates with all these things. Similarly, sea. Sea collocates with sea breeze, sea coast, sea floor, sea rough sea, cruel when it is storming or raging, when raging blue, and so on. Similarly, climb collocates with mountain. You climb up a mountain, or hill, or tree, you climb up a hill, and peak. Then there are some more types of collocations which occur when two parts of a speech are used in company with each other. Here are some pairs. Verbs plus preposition like add to, care for, arrive at. We don't say arrive in or arrive for. So these are the prepositions that go with verbs. So to collocates with add, care collocates with for, arrive collocates with at. Similarly, you have combinations of adjectives and prepositions. Serious and worried are adjectives, and about is preposition. So it goes with serious and worried. Serious about, worried about. Then verbs and nouns. Do a favor, have fun. So the nouns that go with do is we do a favor, but we can't say do have fun. We have fun. Then the fourth type is adverb with adjectives. Highly effective, highly successful. And then we can also have combinations of adjectives and nouns. Best friend, best is adjective, friend is noun. Bad habit and balanced diet. Now there are some salient features that are visible when we deal with collocation. Collocation refers to syntagmatic or horizontal relationship of lexical items. What are lexical items? We already have studied earlier. Then there are some collocation which are easily predictable. If you say spick, naturally span comes to our mind. Spick and span, something which is very clean. Then there are some less predictable examples like letter. So you have letters of alphabet, so letter collocates with alphabet. Then spelling, but it also can collocate with box, letter box, or post a letter or write a letter. Then have and get haven't any predictable collocates, they go with a number of words. One thing has to be understood, that collocations are not association of ideas, they are the combinations of two words. For example, if you take the sentence, he was green with envy, we don't say he was red with envy or blue with envy. Had there been any association between the words in collocation, then green would not have been there, because there is nothing green about envy. Another interesting point to remember about collocations is that they vary with languages. So in English, when you have problems, you say face the problem. And dreams are interpreted. But in a language like Hebrew, if one has problem, it is said that stand in front of problems. And dreams are not interpreted but solved. When the collocation is fixed, then they are considered as idioms like rise and shine, spick and span, right? And sometimes collocations are different from links between ideas that expressed orally. Say for instance, actually there is no relation between mother and jam, but nowadays you find that mother collocates with jam because the company has given the name mother's jam, like homemade type of jam. Then we come to another group of words which are similar to collocation but slightly different. This is set. And again, if we try to define it, it can be regarded as a group of words having approximately the same range of collocations and the same contextual range and functioning in same situation types. But the difference is, whereas collocations were syntagmatic, they refer to paradigmatic or vertical relationships of lexical items. Here it becomes clear from the table where you find 4 sets, and you will see how words are grouped in vertical relationship. And one more thing is peculiar about set is that each item is defined by its place in relation to other members. For example, if you take the first set of words, adolescent, which is the 4th one, the blue color, that is a stage of growth between child and adult. In the second set, you have apple, orange, pear and peach, all are fruits. Then you have cold, cool, warm and hot. So these are the degrees of heat. And then excellent, good, fair, nice and bad. Okay. So these are the different sets. As far as the salient features of set is concerned, some of them are: semantic field actually is not divided into smooth field. So just now we have seen the table, but things are not that simple. Those 4 examples are okay, but you can't form such regular sets of all the items. The items of the sets sometimes overlap and sometimes it is confusing. Another important point about set is that set could be of content words, that means lexical words that have a meaning of their own, like dog or rain or boy, or it can be set of structured words. Structured words means they don't have the meaning of their own, but they play important role in the structure of the sentence. So they are also called function words, like prepositions and articles, a, the, down. And set of content words. Content words is open because you can form so many new words. That is the creativity of human language. Out of just few sounds we form words, and words are unlimited and keep on growing. But it is not so with the function words. Function words are limited, and like articles, and were 3 in the beginning also and today also. So they seldom expand. If you try to compare collocation set, because this can be a question for the exams also, so we can say that collocation is something which is outside grammar. It has no connection with the different categories of grammar or classes of words, like noun, pronoun and all that. But set has analogy to grammar, and it is a set of possible terms available under the same grammatical conditions. Then if collocation is syntagmatic, that is horizontal, set is paradigmatic or vertical. I have already explained it. And in collocation the choice is limited, and in set it is not limited. For instance, the example that I gave of adolescent child and all, you can go on expanding it to toddler and infant and so on and so forth. So in conclusion, it can be said that collocation and set are important because they not only enhance our vocabulary but help in understanding the words and improve our language skills. This is because it develops confidence in us and fluency in speaking. So this is all about collocation and set and my lecture on semantics. Now let us glance over a few questions that can be framed on this topic. Examination questions are of different kind, just because colleges can either be affiliated to universities or they can be independent autonomous colleges, and both have different question paper pattern and syllabus. So autonomous colleges have their own pattern and marking scheme. There may be 2 or 3 sections demanding different type of answers and carrying different marks. Say for instance objective type 1 mark or short answer and so on and so forth. So if you are studying in an autonomous college, you will have to follow the pattern of your college. If you are a student of an affiliated college, then follow the syllabus and marking scheme of university. Common to all are several types of questions which I would like just to give an idea of. First kind is multiple choice question or objective type question. Generally they carry 1 mark, and you will find it even in competitive exams. If you appear for NET or SET or all other exams, they have MCQs, multiple choice question, or simple choosing amongst the alternative. Then there can be very short questions demanding very short answers, and generally they don't give any choice in that. The third can be short answers and little bit longer than the earlier one, and they also don't have choice. And then there can be bigger questions demanding bigger answers of say 150 words or more. And those long answers type of questions, they have internal choice. So my suggestion is that every topic, whether it is semantics or any other, it should be studied in detail by the students. Don't do selective study. If you are preparing a topic like what is semantics, you should be able to answer what is semantics in one sentence, in 50 words, in 75 words, or even in 150 words. Some of the useful tips to score marks in examination are, I am sharing out of my experience. You should read the course thoroughly. For every 5 marks, 1 page of the answer copy is required, or if there is word limit, you should go by that. It is always good for a student of language and literature to prepare their own notes concerning the after reading or consulting the source books. Time management is very important while making notes, while memorizing, and also while writing answers in the examination hall. You shouldn't give too much time to any particular answer, or you shouldn't neglect any one and just write in the last write just a few sentences answer for a question. So you should be conscious about your question paper pattern and the time given for each questions. You can divide it by seeing the syllabus. Memorize the answers and practice writing them, keeping a watch in front of you. It's always good to practice before the exams. There are some representative questions that often appear. So you can just imagine, you can make your own guest paper and imagine and try to write, because sometimes it happens that though you know everything, under the pressure of time, you are unable to write properly in examination hall. So you should be mentally prepared to tackle questions whose notes you have yourself made, and even the answers which you have not prepared. You should have a mental map, because sometimes it's not possible to prepare answers or notes on each and every topic. But you should have a mental map that if expected question or representative questions appear in the exam, how are you going to write? Or sometimes we often say that if we are preparing for university exams, we think that last year's question will not be repeated, but sometimes it is not so. So you may not prepare a full length answer and memorize it. You just have a mental map that if it reappears, then what will you do? This is going to give you a lot of confidence and success. Some of the questions on this topic could be: what is semantics? Short notes on significance of semantics. Then what are the different conceptions of meaning? Defines a meme. Enumerate the types of meaning on the basis of sense relationships. And explain the semiotic triangle of Ogden and Richard. Write short notes on synonymy, antonymy, polysemy, and homonymy. And write an essay on collocation and set. So be mentally prepared to answer such questions in short also and in detail also. Study the topics in detail so that you can answer all the objective type questions on it. For this, try to frame your own objective type questions also while preparing any topic. This would be a good exercise. These are some of the books which I have consulted while preparing this lecture. So this is all about semantics. I hope I have made the topic clear. So goodbye.